Outcomes of democracy. Democracy is a system of government where people have the power to choose their leaders and make decisions through voting. What is expected from a democratic government? Quality of government, economic well being, equality and social differences, conflict management, freedom and dignity are expected from democracy. Democracy has positive outcomes, but with some limitations. Democracy faces certain challenges also. Let us understand the different aspects of democracy in details with examples. Over 100 countries in the world claim to practice democracy, where they have constitutions, elections, political parties, and guarantee citizens' rights. However, these democracies differ greatly based on their social situations, economic progress, and cultural practices. An example of this is India and the United States, both of which are democracies but differ significantly. If we look at India, it is a parliamentary democracy with diverse cultures, religions, and languages. Whereas United States, a presidential democracy with a more homogeneous culture compared to India. India focuses on addressing inequality and upliftment marginalized communities, whereas US prioritizes individual freedoms and economic growth. Both are democracies but operate differently due to their unique social, economic, and cultural contexts. If democracy is good, why do people sometimes blame democracy? People often expect democracy to solve all social, economic, and political problems. If outcomes fall short, we may blame democracy, or we may question whether we are living in a true democracy or not. Democracy is a system of governance. It's not a magic solution. It creates conditions for progress, but citizens must actively work to achieve goals. Expectations from democracy. The first one, accountable, responsive, and legitimate government. What are the features of a legitimate democratic government? Democracy must ensure people's right to choose and control their rulers. Citizens should have opportunities to participate in decision making when needed. Democratic governments are accountable to citizens and responsive to their needs. They function through deliberation and procedures, which may cause delays but ensure transparency and fairness. Non-democratic regimes may make decisions faster but lack legitimacy and public acceptance. Democratic governments, while slower, follow rules and involve public opinion, making decisions more acceptable and sustainable. Now let us see the advantages of democracy. Democracy ensures legitimacy through free and fair elections. It allows citizens to question and hold the government accountable. People across the world prefer democracy as it is seen as a government of their choice. But why still certain sections of people are not happy with democratic governments? Democracies often fall short in addressing corruption and being fully responsive to people's needs. Elections are not always completely fair, and public debates may be limited in effectiveness. 2. Economic growth and development. People expect democracies to not only ensure good governance, but also promote economic development. Studies show that between 1950 and 2000, dictatorships had a slightly higher rate of economic growth compared to democracies. This raises questions about democracy's ability to achieve faster economic development. However, economic development depends on factors like population size, global conditions, international cooperation, and national priorities, not just the form of government. While democracy is not a guarantee of rapid economic growth, its other benefits make it preferable over dictatorships in fostering fairness, inclusivity, and public trust. Economic outcomes of democracy. Over the years, researchers have collected data of different countries to understand the relationship between democracy, economic growth, and inequality. These studies help provide clarity and measurable outcomes rather than just opinions. Reduction of inequality and poverty. Democracies are expected not only to promote development but also to reduce economic disparities and ensure fair distribution of wealth. Even in economically growing democracies, wealth is often concentrated among a small group of ultra-rich individuals. The share of wealth held by the poor people is minimal, and their incomes are often stagnant or declining. Challenges of poverty. Despite large number of poor people being voters, democratic governments often fail to address poverty effectively. For example, in India, poverty remains a significant issue despite democratic governance. In Bangladesh, more than half of the population lives in poverty. Democracies, though committed to political equality, often fall short in reducing economic inequalities and addressing poverty. So this remains a critical challenge for democratic governments worldwide. Accommodation of social diversity. Democracies are expected to promote peaceful and harmonious social life by accommodating social divisions and conflicts. For example, Belgium successfully negotiated ethnic differences through inclusive policies, showcasing democracy's ability to manage diversity. Democracies often develop mechanisms to reduce tensions, avoiding violent or explosive outcomes. No society can fully eliminate conflicts, but democracies allow respectful negotiation and evolution of mechanisms to address differences. The roles of majority and minority should not permanently align with identity factors like religion, race, or language. Every citizen should have the opportunity to be the part of a majority at some point, ensuring fair participation in governance. For example, in India, the majority is often viewed in terms of religious groups. For example, Hindus as the majority. However, in elections, a political majority is formed by the coalition of different communities, including religious minorities. Example, Muslims, Christians. So this dynamic nature ensures no single identity group permanently dominates politics. Dignity and freedom of the citizens. Democracy promotes dignity and individual freedom better than any other form of government. It respects the inherent need for individuals to be treated equally and with respect. Foundation of respect and freedom. Democracies are built on the principles of equality, ensuring every person has a voice. This creates a system where individuals can demand respect and fairness even in historically unequal societies. In societies built on subordination, example male-dominated or caste-based systems, achieving true equality is a gradual process. While principles are recognized, actual treatment of disadvantaged groups such as women and marginalized castes, means lower castes, often falls short. Most societies were historically male-dominated, where women had limited rights and opportunities. In democratic systems, principles of equality and freedom have provided a foundation for women to demand equal treatment and respect. For instance, women in India use democratic platforms to advocate for laws against domestic violence, workplace harassment, and equal pay. The Women's Reservation Bill aims to ensure representation in legislatures, promoting gender equality in decision making. So, the strength of democracy lies in its ability to empower citizens, promote dignity, and uphold freedom. Although imperfect, it continuously adapts to meet higher expectations, making it a dynamic and progressive form of governance.